So my name is Tim Cowbury and I'm a theatre maker, a playwright and writer in general. And I work with Create doing lots of workshops based on that practice. And this is an activity called Voice in Space. And it's an adaptation of something I do in workshops with groups of people, and something you can do in a few minutes or so at home or wherever you are. As long as you have a pen or a pencil, a couple of bits of paper, and that's all you need. So I've got my two bits of paper. One of them I'm going to leave over there for now because I just need the first piece. To do a sketch, there's no hard rules on it, so you can sketch whatever you want. You can think about it hard before you do it and then do it, or you can just draw whatever kind of comes into your head. So it might be a scene, a place you've been to recently, it might be a place you can look and see out your window. It might be somewhere you've been a long time ago. It might just be something that's come out of your head, an imagined place. There's no wrong answer. I think I'll just start drawing. I've got this image in mind. I'm just using a pen because that's what I normally work with, and you can use whatever's comfortable for you. It's not about the quality of the drawing, this one, okay? This is the provocation, the starting point for the activity. This is a kind of a sea basically, and I'm just gonna, in a quite basic way, do my attempt to draw a boat on the sea. But you can set a timer for this. It's quite good to have a little timer on it because it's just the start, because it's just to set you up, really. This is the setup. Set a timer for 5 minutes, no more than that. I might finish mine in less than that. So I've got my boat. I've decided to sort of shade it in. I've got a sail. I think that's all I'm gonna add. We'll have a sun in the sky. So it's just a sketch, it's whatever's kind of coming into your head. Okay, so that's my drawing. I probably took about 3 or 4 minutes doing that, I reckon. You can take a little bit more or less. If you're really enjoying it, you can take a lot longer. So I'll keep my sketch here in front of me, but I'm going to bring in my second bit of paper, and this is the writing part, and this is what it's all really about. In a minute, I'm going to fill it with some words that could be said by a person in this scene that I've drawn. So I've got a scene of a boat on some water, the blazing sun beating down. That's all I've got to go off. And I think it's quite good to not have loads and loads in your sketch, actually, because I think it leaves room for imagination. You can draw people in your scene, but I didn't, and I think that's quite a nice thing to leave room to imagine the people. Where could they be? Are they about to enter? Are they already there but hidden in some way? And I think I might go with that idea that someone's already here but we can't see them, and I'm going to write their voice, and that basically just means writing a few lines, as many lines as come into your head as you have room for. Of course, you can turn over your paper and carry on the other side. If you're feeling like the flow's there, you can keep going on more paper. And it's just going to write their voice. So it's not a story about the person, it's some words they would actually say to reveal this character, the person that you're imagining saying the words. So I'm going to imagine someone. For me, I'm imagining that they're hidden in this picture already. And I'm going to just think about what kind of person that might be, how they might be feeling, about where they are, about what is or isn't happening where they are. And I'm going to just sort of think about that, and it has to be, I think, a little quiet moment of thinking. And then I'm going to write the words down in the voice of that person in a way that might show how they're feeling about where they are and what's going on or not going on. So I'm just starting the writing part now, having thought about it for a little bit, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, and I've just sort of decided, I suppose, how the character might feel. I haven't decided exactly who they are, so that's okay. You don't have to know everything, and again here, just as much as with the drawing, there's no right or wrong answer, but I've decided that they're already here, they're inside, in my head, they're inside the boat. That might or might not be clear from what I write, but it's good for you to have some clear ideas and not worry about whether they all come out on the page or not. It helps you to build this, to imagine this real seeming person who's saying these words. I've started with a couple of questions to sort of suggest that person's maybe a bit scared, a bit nervous, trying to find something out, but maybe can't just get up and find it out for themselves. So they're sort of tentatively questioning, nervously questioning. And you don't have to worry about your spelling or anything. And in fact, if you feel like this person has a bit of an accent or talks in a certain way, you can spell it the way that they would actually say it. So, this isn't an English test. This is just about really kind of getting down on the page what you're hearing, and you almost hear it in your head of the person speaking, and get that down on the page. You might use punctuation. I'm using question marks here. I'm starting to use some dashes just to communicate how this person I'm writing is feeling. A little bit confused. These dashes maybe make them feel a little bit disorientated. I'm probably saying only take a few minutes to do this. Within that time, you might have a rush of ideas and you might have a blank for a while in your mind, and that's fine. And you're really just trying to write what you hear the voice of the person that you're imagining. And I've got to the bottom of my page, and like I said, you could carry on. I kind of feel like I've come to a bit of a natural end anyway. So I'm going to leave it there, not just because I'm at the bottom, but because it sort of feels like I've started and ended in a similar way, and you don't have to do that, but it's given it a bit of symmetry, a bit of kind of shape, where it starts, goes somewhere and then finishes in a similar place, but something's changed. We've learned something about this person that I've created off the top of my head. Like I say, I don't know exactly who they are, but I've got some ideas, and maybe I've probably got more ideas by the time I was at the end of my writing. I've got a clearer idea of who they were than I did at the start, and that might happen for you, or you might plan it all out. You might spend 5 minutes and go, I know exactly who this is and where they are and what's happening for them, and then you just write according to your plan. Any way works. So that's what I've ended up with, and that is the end of the really creative part, I suppose, where you've got a sketch that's inspired you to do your writing. What I would at this point do is have a look at what you've got and make a decision, if you feel like sharing it, if you're able to share it, whether you'd like to really be a performer and perform your writing and sort of become the person that you've created and say their lines, say their words as if you're on stage. And then you might film yourself saying the lines. And the other option is that you speak the words off camera. So you're not visible, but we still get to hear the voice that goes with the picture. So that's how I would do it. So I'll read my words now, not trying to be a total performer. So here I go. Hello? Is anyone else still there? It's been days now, or it feels like days. Is it days? I've lost track. The storm, the waves. Was I sick? Is that my sick? I just want to get home, wherever that is. Because they said people do make it, people get there. It doesn't feel like I'll get there anymore. But I'm still here, so. If you're here too, you can say so. We can help each other, can't we? That's my text and that's my task, kind of complete. And it's quite a funny feeling. I'm experiencing, I've set this task up, I'm sitting and noticing that as you say it, you only really kind of can understand what you've written as you start to say it out loud. You can't really know until you say it whether it really is the voice that you intended. You might find good surprises as well as things that you would change, but you're creating a little character, and hopefully you'll have done some writing that might spark something else, might set you off on another direction of adding to that, turning it into a fuller scene. But what we call that, when you have just one voice speaking in theatre, is a monologue. So when you've got to the end of your writing bit of that task, you have written a monologue. So I suggested a couple of ways you can share that with the world, and if you'd like to, that would be brilliant, and you can do it on social media with the hashtag #CreateWeek.